Edward Laos.
Welcome to Travel Talk, brought to you by The Hotel Guide, the global voice of luxury and boutique hospitality. Featuring Edward Leos.
Good morning, everybody. Edward Leos here, publisher of The Hotel Guide and your host of Travel Talk. Really excited about today's episode of Travel Talk. I have a good friend, and we were just talking off camera about some of the great things she has going on in her world. We want to bring light to that here on our podcast. But Anna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm very excited to be chatting with you. I know we were supposed to start recording this like 10 minutes ago, and then we were just catching up and chatting, which is great.
Which is great. And I that's what I love about our podcast. It's taped, but it's recorded live. And so there have been times where even on the podcast, my side of the screen has gone completely black because the lights in the studio went out. So this is real. This is live. And I think authenticity is what really matters to a lot of our listeners out there. And so speaking of authentic and speaking of that, they always want to know who you're talking to. I know you've been on our show before, but tell our audience now a little bit about yourself and actually what you're doing now, which is kind of why I have you on the show now.
Yeah, well, thank you. And thank you for having me back. It always feels like an honor when somebody that I've already chatted with says, come back and let's do it again. So I really appreciate it. So yeah, Anna Blue. When did I come on before? Was I at AHLA? Was it after AHLA? Okay.
I think you were there. Yeah.
So I came into hospitality to lead the AHLA Foundation, and then left. Now it's been a year since I went out on my own and picked back up in consulting, doing Blue Moss Group. And, it's interesting because when I first left AHLA, I don't come from hospitality. That's not the bulk of my background. So I really, sort of thought, okay, that was great. I love all these people. These have been really fun events. Now I'm just going to go back into social impact, which is what I've always done. And very quickly, the industry was like, no, you're not going anywhere. And so it's been wonderful. And I still do. A couple of my consulting clients over the past year have actually been traditional nonprofits, which I love. That is still the world that I love. But now I am working across the industry. And when I say Jill of all trades, that is really what I am doing, because I've had such a great but diverse career. So I'm doing everything, Blue Moss Group, and now I've got a couple of people helping and supporting, which is really wonderful, and to have that growth. And so we're doing like event growth and event, not production. That is not my area of expertise, but certainly convening and bringing people together is, and growing events and helping them shine and sparkle. I'm working with a lot of industry trade associations, HSMAI Foundation and GBTH Foundation, to strengthen their fundraising, to strengthen their brand and their messaging. Worked with some owners, hotel owners. This was one of my favorite things on doing impact on investment reports. So how do you show your investors that doing good, investing in your employees, investing in your community actually has a positive return for the hotel, that it is a positive impact. And then, because I wasn't busy enough, I launched the Creator Summit, the Hospitality Creator Summit, in partnership with Anthony Malchiori, which has been an absolute blast. He is an incredible partner and friend. And now we laugh and we argue all the time, and it's all in good fun. And so the Creator Summit is bringing together 200 of the industry's most amazing storytellers, whether they are podcast hosts like yourself, as we were just chatting about. We've got authors, we have brand digital creators, we have production folks, we have community builders, just sort of all of the different people that are telling the stories on behalf of the business side of the industry. And that is happening co-located with High Tech. HFTP has been really wonderful partners in allowing us to set up shop there this year. And so it's happening this summer, June 15th in San Antonio, and it's going to be a really incredible event.
That's really, I love everything that you got going on. And I love that the industry didn't let you leave. So they pulled you back in. It's really, the hospitality industry just does that to you, where, you try and get out. Nope. Yeah. You bring it back. When you're good at what you do, people want to keep you in that industry. So that's awesome right there. The Creator Summit is actually something that really piqued my interest when, going through LinkedIn and stuff like that. So when you created that, what is kind of your outcome or some of the things that you want to come out of that initial event that's going to be here in San Antonio?
So the Creator Summit is truly my love letter to the B2B creators within hospitality. I came into this industry in a very public and very visible role with AHLA Foundation. I had to raise money. I had to get people to show up at events. This industry had never heard of me. And immediately being on all of these different podcasts, talking to the different outlets and the traditional media, the new media, all of that. It was such an incredible way to enter the industry, to be able to get my background out, my expertise, my story, to talk about the important work of the foundation. And then when I left just a couple of years later, it was the exact same thing. Everybody reached out and was like, hey, come back on the podcast, talk about what you're doing now. Let's have these continued conversations. And so I don't consider myself in any way to be a storyteller or a creator. I have fun on LinkedIn. I'm a pretty honest person, as you know, but I have really genuinely loved this community of people. And I don't think our industry values our B2B creators the way that they should. And that's just being honest. I sat there, we do a ton of hospitality B2C creator conferences, bringing all the travel influencers and all those folks together for the brands. And that's great. There is absolutely that. But we have these incredible community builders and content creators and influencers on the business side, Anthony and Glenn and yourself and Modern Hotelier and Josiah McKenzie and Emily with Hotelier. Like, we just have so many incredible people. Yeah. And to bring them all together and say, hey, hospitality, you may know they're one-offs, but this is an incredibly valuable collective group that has the eyeballs of the business on it. People pay attention to the content that you all put out. And so I really wanted to elevate this. That's what this is about, is to give back in a way. If I can bring people together, and that's what I'm good at, then let's bring this group together. So I'm really excited about what I believe it's going to do for the B2B creators in the industry. And then we're going to continue to level up from there.
Yeah, no, when we were talking offline a little bit about it, you told me about it before, but it's incredible. And I love what you're doing from the B2B side of things. I think from content creators and also just people who are storytellers. And that's really what travel and tourism is. Yeah. The great brands nowadays are fascinating storytellers. And I think when your brand is doing that the right way, the consumers love it, but there's also the business side of it that you got to teach that. And there's people out there who want to listen to that. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I mean, Anthony always says, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, but every time we do a call with someone, and then he'll say I didn't listen to him. Anthony talks about how brands struggle to tell their stories, and how sort of vendors, and there are so many hospitality vendors and suppliers that come into this industry, and they don't know how to reach the people that they want to buy their products and services and know that they're here. And I got to experience this firsthand. I worked with an AI company last year. They were one of my first clients, really good friends, female CEO and female founder of this AI company, which I absolutely love. And they've created something amazing for the business, and they're trying to get it in front of people. And this is such an old school industry. This is such a tried and true, but this is what we've always done, which is why AI is turning everybody on their head. Yeah. And so just to get them in the door, and that's what this creator group is best at, right? Going to conferences, talking about the business, what are the moves that the brands and management companies and owners are making? How do we actually connect the right products and services to the right companies? And there's this whole internal ecosystem of people who know the business inside and out. You all have incredible expertise, and people pay attention. They watch your content, they do all of those things, but there just it's not the right value being placed on it. Like I said, I will come back to that a million times because that's the part that means so much to me. So that's what we're going to do. And what the content is at the Creator Summit is geared towards creators. So it's like bringing in podcast experts who are not industry specific, who can say, hey, here is how you grow. Here's how you monetize. Here's how you get better engagement. Here's how you promote it. We've got a newsletter expert who is absolutely fantastic, who can help you monetize an email list and monetize a newsletter and kind of help create and grow that. Somebody who is actually a hospitality, she works with like cruise lines and airlines and all of these things on literally helping them tell their story. So how do we better help you all with your storytelling? So it's going to be really, really specific. We're talking to brands about how they make creator decisions. We're talking to vendors and suppliers about how they make creator decisions. So we want it to be like truly hands-on. Here is how you can get better and bigger in exactly what you're doing. And we want to help be the mechanism for that.
That's awesome. I love what you're talking about doing there and the activation that's going to come from it. I think that ripple effect following San Antonio is going to be pretty astounding. And it's nice to know that it starts there in the Alamo City. So let's switch a little bit from the business side of things, which we could talk. I think we could talk marketing and all of this stuff for a long time. But I always like to ask my guests their personal questions of what have been some of your favorite travel destinations? And then number two, bucket list travel spots that you have on tap.
Travel, like for many people, travel is so personal to me that it's not even about where I go, it's who I've gone with and what are the experiences that we have. I will say it will forever be the absolute best trip that I've ever taken, which was to Uganda, visiting refugee camps with the United Nations Commission on Human Rights and Refugees. And it was just an incredible trip and will always be like, I would go back to Uganda in a heartbeat. They were incredible people. Some of the kindest, most generous, wonderful people that I've ever met. And but outside of that, you know, my youngest daughter, she's 11, she's obsessed with Canada and all things Canada. And so going to the Muskoka Lakes and, you know, staying with friends and kind of being out on the water just to have that, stop the boat and let them dive in. You know, it's the experiences that make it for sure for me. Bucket list, I have so many. I mean, it's absolutely my goal to hit all 7 continents. And whether, you know, I mentioned to you that I'm turning 50 in a couple of years. And so whether I hit Antarctica for 50 or 55 or 60, we'll see. That's definitely a milestone one. I've now figured out how to do it, like what that trip looks like and how many days and how to get there. But yeah, I have so many bucket list destinations. You know, I do want to go back to Africa. I mean, it is the massive, massive continent, and there's so much to explore there. I have yet to go to Asia. So yeah, I have a lot of bucket list travel, a lot. Yeah.
They add up. When you go to Antarctica, are you looking at doing the polar plunge?
I mean, never say never. I'm going to say never, but never say never. It's very possible. You know, when you're in Antarctica, like what else would you do? Right. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, probably. I'm more likely to do that than I am to like jump off of a bridge somewhere or do one of those type of things. So maybe, yeah. I mean, when else are you going to have that opportunity?
No, I know. We had a really good friend of mine who went to Antarctica and did the polar plunge, and he well, first off, he said when you're there, it's just a whole different experience.
Yeah,
life is just different, and you know, so yeah, it's one of those things I always ask. Antarctica has come up on bucket list for several of my guests, which you can imagine. It's a different place, a different part of the world that not a lot of people get to go to, and.
Yeah.
You know, you're out there in nature, really at the baseline of it. So, well, awesome. Well, we got a couple of minutes left. What is the best way for people to kind of get in contact with you or the organization? And then any parting thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly check out the Hospitality Creator Summit website, which is the hospitalitycreatorgroup.com, bluemossgroup.com to find out more about that sort of independent work. And then anybody can always find me on LinkedIn. I love chatting with folks and connecting anytime. So yeah.
No, awesome. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast, and I love what you're doing. I'm excited to be a little bit part of it as well, and to be there and see that inaugural event really take off. And so really excited about that. But thank you for the time today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you again on the show, Anna.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. This is great. And I'll see you in San Antonio in just a couple months.
I'll be here. So, hey, for all of our listeners and readers and subscribers out there, you know the drill. Follow us at thehotelguide.com. Like, share, subscribe. We will have Anna's contact information for the organizations in our show notes, so you can easily find her and see all the great things that she is doing, and the team with the Creator Summit as well. So there's a lot of good things happening in this world. Like we always like to say, travel and make memories. And until next time, everybody, take care and be safe. We'll talk soon.